Our daily word today is comfort. And the affirmation is, in extending comfort to others, I find peace. The 23rd Psalm affirms comfort through the darkest valley. At times it may seem that only by finding myself in a dark valley am I able to appreciate the spiritual substance by which I am surrounded. Faith reminds me that comfort is a quality of spirit, not dependent on conditions or circumstances in my life. This awareness aids me in being a channel of comfort and serenity for others as well. I do so by replacing drama and instant judgment with an energy of peace and love. At every opportunity, even through any seeming valleys, I find time to be still and know nothing can disturb the calm that I feel and the serenity that I share with others. Psalm 23:6. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord my whole life long. And now all together, let's say the affirmation. In extending comfort to others, I find peace.
Now is the time where I invite you to visualize our sanctuary as a beautiful heart. So let's see this heart moving in and around and through each one of us, just filling our sanctuary with love and caring, compassion that we have for ourselves and each other. And see it extending back into Sunday school with Kayla and the children. And allow that love to fill you, nurture you, and to comfort you. We breathe into our heart space. We know that God is the source of our supply. We pray. We take time to be still. And we pray for others. Allow your heart to be so full that it spills out over into our sanctuary here, touching the hearts of everyone here, and that it grows even greater, moving out into the community, filling the Big Island, all those in need. And in these moments, if you know of anyone in need of prayer, see them in our heart. And if you know of any circumstance in your world, in our world, in need of prayer, see it in our heart as we sing the prayer for protection. And now is the time where we visualize and go into that quiet space of being still. So in these moments, I invite you to just close your eyes. Get comfortable where you are. And we begin by just breathing. Let us take in a deep breath, the very breath of life. We hold it for a moment. And as we exhale, we begin to relax. Breathing in again deeply. Holding it for just a moment. As we exhale this time, we allow ourselves to be here right now. We let go of anything that allows us and prevents us from being in this holy moment. And once more we breathe in. And exhaling this time, we rest in the consciousness of our heart. I invite you now to allow your breathing to be a relaxed, easy in, easy out. Follow your breath. Listen. Listen to your breathing. Our breath calms us and relaxes us. In these moments, we are open and receptive to that living Spirit of God within us, the essence of God that resides within every cell of our being. We allow the light, the love, the Spirit of God to awaken and deepen in and around and through us. This is our holy time, our opportunity of allowing our whole spirit to be here right now. When we are in this moment, we feel God's presence. We feel God's joy. And that joy is our joy. When we feel joy, we can live life to the fullest. We feel inspired to think and do greater things. As we go into a time of quiet prayer, allow that spark of light, the spirit of joy within you, to call upon you to dig deeper in these moments and bring forth divine ideas, divine actions, divine spirit, right here and right now, in the silence. Taking another deep breath. And as we exhale, we give thanks. Thanks for divine ideas, divine expression in and through each one of us. And in that moment, right here and right now, we give that appreciation and thanksgiving for life. Every moment, from this moment forward. And so it is. Amen. How's everyone today? Good. Great. How many of you have seen this cover of Time magazine at the checkout? Well, my loving daughter bought me this because she thought it spoke to her about me. And I said, funny, you should get this, because our theme this month is enjoying life builds a firm foundation. And this is all about the science of happiness. New discoveries for a more joyful life, relationships, exercise, inner life, diet, meditation. Is that not right up our alley? You know, God provides. And so that's what being mindful and enjoying life is about. In that moment, when Sasha saw this, she thought of me. And I was like, that was just the most wonderful thing. And these magazines are not inexpensive. Do you know that now? So you're going to spend like $13 for joy. Can we do that? Maybe. If not, I got it right here. But the beauty of this is, I wanted to start by asking you a question. So if you had to choose a theme about your life and a theme song, would it be, I can't get no satisfaction? Or would it be, don't worry, be happy? Now, wasn't that great when that song came out? Did you ever get sick of it? Do you get sick of it today? When I first started this healing adventure, that song came on. I don't even know where it came from, but it was on the radio. It was on my Pandora, it was on everything. And I went, just now, I never recorded it or put it on my playlist, but it's always there. Because when you get fearful, what are you doing? You're worrying. So we're learning how to not do that at a very deep level of our being. So if you choose the latter song, don't worry, be happy, guess what happens? You have less of a chance of having a heart attack. Do you believe that? Isn't that great? So from this magazine, this is called The Science of Happiness, and we love that. And it says, well-controlled studies conducted in large populations indicate that people who are more optimistic or have a greater sense of purpose have at least 20% reduced risk of developing major illnesses such as coronary heart disease and diabetes. Focusing on science right now is important, even if the prescription for joy will never be as easy as taking a pill. Do you find that when you're not joyful, you wish you had a pill? So we're going to call what we do today taking a happy pill. And guess how you can do it? You all know what I'm going to tell you. Pray and so those are our happy moments. Also, doing what you love. And I mean, you've got to come from that place in your heart where it says, this brings me so much joy. I could do it all day and all night. And I know one person, Carla, and her sewing, that she loves it so much. And she told me again yesterday, she just loses herself in the joy of creating. That is fabulous. How many of you have something like that in your life that brings you that joy? Yay. Now I'm going to ask 3 of you to tell me what it is. Patrick's hand goes way down. Patty. Cooking. The joy of cooking. She loves to cook. And it brings you what? Satisfaction. And that's a, and what else, Patty? Sharing. And sharing. Yes. And those are the healthy things that we do in our lives to make us feel joyful and enjoy life. Who else? Yes. Clint. Clyde.
I
where he lives, he goes and says good morning to everyone. That's a fabulous thing. Someone was telling me yesterday that she's so happy. Actually, it was at Kaiser in the blood work department. And she's a visiting person. And she's so happy to be in Hawaii. She's from Boston. And I said to her, "You're just so joyful. It's a great thing." And she goes, "You have no idea. People in Boston don't look up. They don't talk to you. They don't even smile. I am so happy." And I called the blood department and all the, because they kind of know me. And I said, "You're the happiest vampires I know." And they just, it's because they're joyful and they love having her. And she just is bringing her spirit and joy into taking people's blood. So who else? Okay, Vince.
Playing golf.
Playing golf.
With a really close friend.
With a close friend. Yes. Feels good. Yeah, when I learned to do golf, I called it the Zen because it brought me right in the present moment. Yes. Dance movement? That's one of the things I'm going to talk about. We all know people in this room like to dance. Let's give a show of hands of all you dancers. Yeah, look around. These are happy people around here because they're enjoying life and enjoying life through dance because we love music, don't we? It feeds our soul. And so I'm going to share with you right now one of our really fabulous unity ministers of pretty long ago now, Jack Boland. He wrote this, and he's very inspirational. He was. His writings are still around. When we become willing to be changed, often because our life is not working for us, a miraculous thing begins to happen. There are things in our thinking and in our lives that cannot come with us when we commit to being changed. For instance, thinking of the caterpillar is not carried forth by seeing the butterfly. Life is rigged for all of us to become aware of the need for transformation in our lives. March forth today and choose to be changed at depth, and your world will soon follow. Seems so easy, doesn't it? But by doing these things, we build a stronger constitution in our body on every level. Our mind, our heart, our emotions, our spirit. And research shows that when we are completely in tune with what we are doing, we more fully enjoy the activity. Moreover, being completely present allows us to enter a state of complete absorption that is extremely productive. It generates joy. And in this magazine, it also talks about the tasks that we don't like. What are some things that you just kind of avoid doing? Anyone? Who's got those? Yes, dishes, ironing, dishes. Washing windows. You can pay a grandson to do that for a pair of new earphones. I did that this week. Who else was over here?
Yard work.
Larry loves yard work. Making amends to people. That's a challenge. So all those things that you don't like to do, what they recommend in this magazine is you do it focused for 10 minutes only. We can do anything for 10 minutes. And at the end of that 10-minute period, guess what happens? You begin to feel different. You begin to feel a sense of accomplishment, even though you might be grumbling. So what I learned to do a long time ago, because I've been in Unity for a while, is to say affirmations when I'm doing something I don't want to do. And they just come to me, whatever it might be. I love what I'm doing. No, you don't. I love what I'm doing. I love every dish. I don't iron anymore. Okay, I remember when I gave that up. It was wonderful. You want to know how God works in my life? By magical, incredible experiences. So picture me very pregnant with my 4th child, and it was storming, like it was storming this weekend. So I always think of this event. So I was ironing. It was probably 2 o'clock in the morning, because I used to do those never-ending tasks all day long and all night long. So I was ironing, and I kind of brushed the iron against my belly, and I was like, oh my God. But I still didn't listen, kept on ironing. Guess what happened? The roof caved in, water everywhere. I didn't iron anything. I had to rewash everything. But that's the last time I consciously had an iron in my hand. It was like, okay, God, I hear you. I got you. Because it didn't bring me much joy. It was 2 in the morning. And so I used to do those kinds of things that burned me out. Anybody else feel burned out sometimes in life by the things we do? Because we all have our lists. And what do those lists say? Do more, be more, get more. So now we set them aside. And I learned in a class that I took once that you really can't get that list done. So why not limit it to 3 things that are your priority, that you want to get done today with grace and ease and love? We can do that. We can do something we don't like for 10 minutes. We can experience life because we want to create greater joy. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, wrote this about joy. Joy is the happiness of God expressed through his perfect idea, man. Joy and gladness are strength-giving, especially if the mind is fixed on the things of spirit. What does it mean to enjoy life? The words enjoy have simple definitions. To experience with joy. Enjoy means to have and use with satisfaction. Enjoy means to experience pleasure. And the Dalai Lama wrote this in his book, Happiness. I believe that the very purpose of our life is to seek happiness. That is clear. Whether one believes in this religion or that religion or none at all. We are all seeking something better in our lives. So I think the very motion of our life is toward happiness. Isn't that a great way to think? And one thing I read a couple years ago at the bank, because they have positive sayings at the bank when you're standing in line waiting, isn't that great? Bank of Hawaii. And it said, there can be no happiness if the things we believe in are different from the things we do. How's that? So if I have a belief system here and I'm not following what my guidance is, I'm missing out on that great strength, that experience. And so when we want to get somewhere in life, we have to learn to do a simple things. Be in the present moment. So here's what I'm going to invite you to do today. When you get home, it's kind of a task. Hopefully it'll bring you joy and not frustration. Take time today to sit down and write a list of things that you enjoy doing. Pick the top 3, only 3. And if you only accomplish 1 in the week, that's important. Because when we set our intention for how we want this week to be, we know if we act upon those thoughts, they're God-given, they're desires in our heart, and we will be thankful and appreciative. Now here's a big one. You ready? And it's in this book, The Science of Happiness. Take a technology fast. Breathe, everybody. Come on. So for half a day or a whole day, no screen. That means none. One of the greatest exercises in being in the present moment is to spend a half day or whole day on a technology fast, ideally in nature, without a schedule. How many of you think you can do that? All right, that's your task this week. It can be challenging for all of us. And that means you can't hold that handheld device, right? It's got a screen.
I can't even turn my car on. I don't even know what time it is.
You have a watch?
No.
Ah, he's one of those great people who just say, let me check my phone. You can't turn on your car, David?
No, without a screen popping up.
Okay, you can put a piece of paper over it. That's what I do. Things that I don't want to see, I put a piece of paper over it, or a nice pretty handkerchief. We can do it. Be creative. Patrick's just laughing. I know you have to work and you have to look at a screen all day long. We'll give you a little reprieve at home. And so another thing we can do is hang out with upbeat friends. Yes, we know about that in this ministry, that we hang out with each other because why? We love it. We find the connection, the spirit, our heart to your heart, all over the place. And then what happens? It branches out into the world. When I'm happy, I'll talk to people that I don't even know. And when I'm happy, people talk to me that I don't even know. And the next thing you know, they're telling you their life story. Isn't that quite amazing? So we want to connect. We want to talk to people that we care about and care about us. And remember, hugs are very important. They release oxytocin. It's the cuddle hormone. How many days do we go without touching or hugging someone? It's very, very important. And then you want to find pleasure in doing one thing at a time. How many of you think you're a multitasker? We are. We have been. And where's it gotten us? Doing a lot of stuff with a little bit of energy. So now we be in the present moment. We look at what we have to do, and that's what we do. I was always great. I mean, really good at this. I need to be out the door in 10 minutes. I could think of 50 things I got to do within 10 minutes. So now I consciously tell myself, no, Deb, you're not doing another thing. You're going to grab your purse and you're going to go out to the car. Was it hard at first to do that? Oh, yes. Because I'm walking through seeing things that need to be done. And it's like, nope, we're not doing it. Today, we're taking a break from all that stuff that you think you need to do. We're going to focus on one thing, getting in the car. How many of you think you can do that? It's going to be a challenge, I'll tell you. And here's another thing we can do. Talk nicely to yourself. How many of you have a critical parent or a critical boss or a critical anything in your mind? We do. And Dr. Phil, in one of his books, he talked about when someone one in your head is talking to you. Some places they call it the committee. And what we do is we say, thank you for sharing. And now I'm going to affirm that you are gone. I no longer will listen to you. I am happy being myself. And I can do this. Because I know when I was younger and I had a task, a very difficult task, maybe it was writing a paper, something in school, doing gymnastics for the first time on the balance beam. I didn't know how to do that. And when I got home, I had all these bruises on my shoulder and my body, and I thought, oh my God, I'm dying. No, it was just the balance beam. And so we learn how to do something focused, and it will give us confidence and strength. And it's very, very beautiful how we can learn to talk to ourselves. Going through this cancer adventure, every time my body coughs or has trouble breathing, I say, thank you, body. Thank you, every cell in my being, for removing cancer from my body. Now, was I able to do that in the beginning? No, I was terrified. But now, by the grace of God, I remember, oh yes, thank you, body. Thank you, cancer. Thank you for reminding me that I can be healed. I am healed. That's how we talk to ourselves. And we say, I'm doing pretty good at this. In Proverbs it reads in 17:22, being cheerful keeps you healthy. It is a slow death to be gloomy all the time. And when I was young, I loved Eeyore in Winnie the Pooh, because he was the gloomiest thing there was, but I loved his voice. So I would tease my kids, oh, you're just like Eeyore. You can't do anything right. I know it's gonna rain. Not true. So we gotta teach Eeyore within us to smile. We know that we wanna learn how to meditate, to focus more on our breathing. We wanna get moving physically. 30 minutes a day will change your life. And we want to make a gratitude journal, of which we do several times during the year here. And helping others only after you've helped yourself. Those are simple things that we can learn to do every day. And you know, Abraham Lincoln, this is one of these sayings that I have in my wallet. Most folks are usually about as happy as they make up their minds to be. And I'll close with this wonderful quote from Steve Jobs. And he wrote this, your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living the result of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of other people's opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart. Follow your intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Thank you, everyone.